We're going to keep going. So step 2 is sleep. You got into step 1 is a really important step for even sleep. So I'm not going to go into why yet. The why water will help you sleep better. That's just, it will, because that's what I've experienced as well. And then I'm not getting into that today. We're talking about timing. So for some reason, I don't know if it's because we're so caught up in technology, we forget that we're actually nature, and that having crazy weird shoes or getting out of shoes fully into the ground, on the ground, in the grass, whatever, water, is grounding, and there's an energy about that. Is more, there's like a heaviness or a yin or a gravity feeling. You know, you can get that same feeling by putting a heavy blanket on top of you, or somebody wraps their arms around you and hugs them, like, and it just lingers forever. That's nature. But we don't, technology is the opposite of that. So it kind of jacks us up, winds us up, kind of it moves us away from nature as longer and longer we stay on it. So getting our sleep patterns, going back at the end of the day, somehow to reconnect with the energy of the earth, the hertz of the earth. We can use a biomat, which is, I talk about in this actual step. We'll bring our body back to what's called homeostasis, or in the case of sleep, hormones and the nervous system. Because remember, energy going up is the cortisol, so that's the nervous system that gets us going in the day. Sympathetic nervous system. We have the other side to that, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. And that side, those hormones shift off when we see us moving with the circadian rhythm of nature, of the planet, whatever, what makes things grow, timing, seasons, like all that stuff has everything to do with the sun on one end of the day, and on the other end we've got the moon. So remember, at about 3 o'clock we have to start winding things down, because whether you like it or not, and you can try coffee, you can try whatever, you're still going to have a hormonal response. And okay, you should be having a hormonal response of the sleepy time melatonin hormones on this side, right? Cortisol, melatonin, like coming down the other side. The light goes down, so we go down. If we don't go down, we keep drinking tea and all that stuff and working into 8 o'clock at night, our hormones are off. So are we going to be able to fall asleep until 1 in the morning? Right? If we want to get to bed earlier so that we're healthier in the morning for the day, the next day, we don't feel like we have to sleep in, we can get up earlier, we can get a little bit more done in the mornings, more energy. So we're wired like this. We've been wired like this for as long as we've been here. So we can try and do what we can with foods and drinks and all of that, vices of all kinds to try and keep us going, but eventually we will get harder for us to feel the healthy and the vitality as we get to 50, even at midlife. Right now we've got young kids feeling like they're 50. So we want to try and re-educate ourselves. We have to get back on the habits that work. So when we look to, well, why would I go to bed at 10 o'clock at night? When I could really, I want to stay up, I've had a busy day, I only just finished work at like 8, it only gives me 2 hours to chill with myself. Well, your body needs it. Your body, your tissues actually need that time to heal. It goes through a physical body healing. Now, at 2 in the morning, things start to shift. The liver goes through its detox, and we go into a psychological healing. Now, all of this is coming from my background of being a licensed Czech instructor, and I have a manual that you'll learn more about. So I'll bring it probably before the end of these little videos. How to Move, Be Healthy by Paul Chek. I will have the first chapter for free for you to check in, just to see what that's like, and then you can go on from there to see if you want to invest in it. It is a Bible 25 years later, even for me, 20 years actually for that book. So just know that in that book, it talks about this right here. So where I can stand here and say psychological healing at this time, if we're not and need healing there, maybe we'll have to wake up. Maybe we'll have to do some writing in a journal. Maybe we'll have to write to somebody. Something will be on our mind. We'll wake up. We'll have to deal with it, right? I'm not the only one that can wake up at that time of morning. We know, everyone talks about it. I'm not sleeping, I get up at 4 or 2 or 3 and I gotta go pee. And so, but then finally we get a good sleep. When the head hits the pillow, then there's like a little bit of sleep. That's the physical repair. And if we can give ourselves 4 hours of that, we're like doing really well. Okay, and then again, when we start to handle things with hydration and things become more conscious, where we can take more responsibility of our lives, then we don't have to wake up. We can sleep through the night, through the psychological healing part. On the unconscious side, we don't know what's going on there, right? So it has to do with our ability to manage our thoughts, and that's actually step 6, which is a ways from here. And step 6, there's like, when I see 1, 2, like the numbers to 1 to 6, there is like this divide that happens between 5 and 6. It's like a grade. You graduate. Once at 5, then you've gone through the work at 5, which you'll learn about. Then 6 becomes just naturally the next step. You start to kind of go, oh, okay, there's the 6, and then I'm going to just, flip it good. That's it. Now remember, caffeine has got a lifespan in your body of 12 hours. Okay? Sugar depletes the immune system and jacks you up with cortisol. So again, that's what is sugar? We'll talk about the next step. Step 3 is energy. Okay? It gives us energy. So should we at the dinner table have a lot of sugar on our plate? Or in the dessert? No. But would a little bit be important? Yes, especially for those who are looking into metabolic typing. And that's what we get into with the book, with Paul's book. He takes you through the questionnaires, are amazing in that book. So, number 2, nose breathing. So, why nose breathing? Well, just as important here as the body needs, the physical repair needs to be at this time, and psychological, nose breathing helps your body relax. Right? And we don't even realize if we're mouth breathers or nose breathers. And most of us right now, if you are a tendency to be a fast-paced kind of person and go, go, go all the time, you're going to have that mouth breathing is probably going to be quite significant in you. So we have to teach the body to kind of go to the other side, flip it over to like the yin for a bit and get calmed down. And breathing through the nose, it helps. I'm going to teach you a stretch I use for sleep. My clients that have sleep challenges use it, and it basically does what I'm talking about. It flips you to that parasympathetic side to your nervous system, and that's where the hormones start to shift and your body starts to relax. And for some people that's very, very, very hard because there's just so much cortisol going through their body. So then you go through something like the stretching or the CP time stretch, and you work the body just enough to burn off those last little chemicals and cortisol going through the bloodstream, so that you can kind of put yourself to sleep a little bit more relaxed. The lights need to come down as well. That's very important. And in your room needs to have no light if you can do it. Absolutely no light. Go dark. And also finding a heavy blanket, being cool too. Don't go in with a hot, steamy room. Try and cool things down. And then put a heavier blanket on you. You'll love, I don't know if you'll love it, but I certainly enjoy that heaviness. Eventually the blanket gets flown off the bed. But in the beginning, for these 4 hours, guess what? They're awesome. They're awesome. Those heavy blankets are great. So now on the nose breathing, I have an exercise in step 5, which we'll go through to help you change the breathing pattern from mouth breathing, fight or flight, to rest and restore. Okay? The third one is the cold shower. Now, thankfully, I don't have to do that. Well, right now I don't. For a while now, I haven't had to before bed. There was a stage in my life, which happens, everyone has that stage where you kind of have to rush through things and you're just not having to have, like that sleepy time is just, that stretch is just going too fast. You just can't slow it down. You're going to have a harder time in bed. There's going to be a lot of tossing, turning. Again, the cortisol is a hormone. Your body needs to get it working and out of you. And if you're not, what are you going to do in bed? I mean, this is really, if you think about it, common sense, but don't believe a word I say. Really think about it. Like maybe you should think, oh, actually, yeah, I know I'm dehydrated. I'm eating maybe too much carbs at night. Whatever it is for you, maybe it's the stress or whatever it is, but you can tell that you're just still going wired to bed and you're not tired. Or maybe you're tired, but you feel wired. Like that's, that's a thing. So the sleepy time stretch, it actually, again, works out off these cortisol left over at the top, where you haven't finished using them up for the day, and it helps your brain calm down. And the adrenals, the adrenals want to know that you're safe. So if you're between your ears and you're still worrying and freaking out, maybe blaming the world for your problems, you're going to have stress at a very deep level. And so the cortisol is going to fly out into your system. You're going to find that there's going to be a bit of a cortisol tire thing around the middle. Mind you, red wine can do that too, and alcohol. But that's a cortisol note right there. Like that's a sign that you're high on the cortisol level. So again, back to step one, hydration, get to your sleep, calm the body down, fix some things in between the ears maybe at the end, if you do wake up, get the journal out, like be active and ready to do the work so you can sleep through the night. And then, there's always going to be times where you're going to drink more water, you're going to have more detox, you're going to go for a pee in the middle of the night, but that really should be a short period of time. Because the body homeostasis, that's where we can go and we can feel like we're walking on water, in a sense. Like there's not a lot of pain in the body that we're being distracted on feeling or thinking about. We're actually just in the moment present and happy to be doing what we're doing. So that's when I stopped needing a cold shower. I finally kind of got up with myself, and still find myself chasing a little bit, but you know what? I can get into that bed and I can feel the calmness set in, the homeostasis is there. If I was still feeling edgy or, like I said, tired and wired, I got to get in a cold shower. And what that does, and to finish this off here for you today, it actually, and again, don't believe what I say. I need you to really think about this common sense, right? When we're fight or flight, where does your blood go? Is it going to stay in your core? And just kind of like, no. Fight or flight hormones turn on, so the blood is shifting now to the limbs. Okay, now if you had food in your stomach, you're gonna probably get gut pains. Like it's just gonna be like, oh my God, right? The symptoms is that your blood is gonna go from all of your limbs running the day away to back to your gut, right? And then it's just gonna heal you from there. And then it goes, and you do it again, get cold, comes back in, get hot, goes back out, get cold, goes back in, and eventually you're gonna just try and hold for 2 minutes. And I had to get myself there and do this because I was not sleeping and the things were not looking great, so everything needed sleep, and it worked. So I put myself on 100 days of 2 showers a day. It would be first thing morning in the shower. I'd end it with cold shower, and my coach Paul had said, okay, 2 minutes, freezing cold, top of the head, and that's not for everybody. But I ended up managing to do it. And I put myself on a 100 days challenge so that I would do it every day. Because you do something like that, there's no excuses. Like you don't have to battle any of the excuses. You just do it. So I did that twice a day. And by the end of it, my life had flourished. 100 days, I can't tell you. It was just from changing one thing, that's sleep. How was I sleeping? Okay, so off you go, good luck. That's only 3 things, and on the challenge I'll probably talk and dive into a little bit more on that. So off you go. I'm off to the market. See you later.